Hey, today I'm going to do a deep dive in my standard size traveler's notebook. It is currently thunderstorming outside, so hopefully we get a little bit of thunderstorm ambiance, but I apologize if the audio gets a little bit weird, but hopefully things will be okay. I have been using this standard size traveler's notebook as my memory keeper and journal for a month now, and I have really been enjoying this. I haven't really clicked with the standard size before, so it's been really fun to be in the system and really enjoying it. This, as I mentioned, is my journaling and memory keeping setup. So I run with two inserts. Both of them are currently from Traveler's Company. The first insert is the dated vertical weekly for 2023. This comes as a 2-pack, and I pre-ordered mine from Yoseka. I believe they sell this insert separately now, but I purchased mine at the end of last year. I pre-ordered from Yoseka. So the first half of the year is in one insert. I'm about due to film a flip of this, so stay tuned for that. But this insert started in July, and that is when I moved into the system, more or less. The dated vertical insert features Midori MD cream paper, which is some of my absolutely favorite paper. I love it so much. It's really great with fountain pens. It holds up to watercolor pretty well and all the other pens that I throw at it, and I'm personally team cream paper. I find it easier on the eyes and it gives my system this sort of vintage vibe without me having to do anything special. No purchase required. It just already is vintagey feeling. In the dated insert, there is this year at a glance and next year at a glance. I'm currently using this year as a habit tracker. So I had one specific habit for July and I marked it off at the end of each day, and I've got a new habit for August and I marked this using a Zig Clean color dot in black. This insert also has a future log or a monthly log space, and I wasn't quite sure how to use it, so I've actually just been logging the topics that I'm journaling about in the Dear Diary section of this traveler's notebook. You could do some future planning in here as well if you did want to use this insert as a planner. I probably won't use these spreads, but I am liking it for this particular purpose. So the weekly spreads are Monday Start, which again is my preference. The one thing I don't quite care about for the dated version is all these mini monthly calendars down the side, but I like that it shows you the week number, the month you're in, and I have been using these recently as week-specific habit trackers you'll see here in a bit. But this is what I use for memory keeping. None of this is pre-planned. I come in at the end of each day and I will fill out day by day as I go. Sometimes I get a little bit behind and I'll do 2 or 3 days at a time. But this is my space to write down the key events that happen throughout the day, the little stories, do a little bit of micro journaling, and use up stickers, draw things, watercolor as well. I do watercolor on this paper. I find it handles it really well, and I'm primarily doing all my writing with my Pilot Vanishing Point, which mine is an extra fine nib inked with the atramentis archive ink, and all the lettering and doodling I do with a Tombow Fudenosuke hardtip brush pen, and both of those are water resistant, which is key for me because I'm kind of a doodle first, watercolor later kind of girl. This is the week of 4th of July, and I've been printing out some photos. I print out my photos with my Canon XP. I think it's an 6100 series, and I'm printing it on premium matte sticker paper that I get from online labels. Lots of watercoloring this week. I really love how this turned out, and I think I like that there's a little bit more white space in the spread. This week looks as hectic as it was, so I don't like it looking this full, but I was just writing things down as they happened. Printed off picture of my husband and I, and then this is when I started doing like little habit trackers. So this week I did a no spend, and I just tracked it off on the days of the week within the mini monthly. I really like how this weekly turned out. One thing I'm trying to do is feel less restricted to the columns. I have a really bad habit of writing everything within the lines. So something I've been trying to do this year is write across multiple days when I can. I wrote vertically over here. I'm paper clipping in. These are some of my August patron doodle perks that I made that I just like, so I decided to add them into this weekly spread. And I'm also doing like a monthly recap down at the bottom here, but really love this week. I think it's super cute. This week I had some washi tape that I got from I'm at a Mediterranean restaurant actually. I was like keeping my sandwich wrapped closed, but I try not to go overboard with stickers. I think this year I've really started to shy away from stickers when it comes to memory keeping, mostly because I want the practice of drawing every single day. So I try to draw things more often than not, but I do just pull out a sticker every now and then if it just is about perfect. I use these here. These are Midori index clips. They're metal removable tabs, and I've been using the same set for a couple of years now. They are, in my opinion, quite worth it because I don't like just throwing tabs away, and I've used them for a few years now and definitely love them, but not a need by any means. But I do tab off my current week so I can flip to it pretty easily and fill things out as I go. As I'm filming this, I'm a few days behind, but the nice thing about a weekly spread is it's actually really easy for me to keep up with. If I wait until Sunday, I can fill out this whole thing in about 25 minutes, and that's about the time that I currently have to spend on this, so it's working out really well. In the back, there are a handful of blank pages, and I've just split them into 3 sections per page. So each remaining month of 2023, I could do a little something. So on this 2-page spread, I'm doing a monthly recap. So this was my July recap, and this is just a space for me to journal, doodle, print off pictures, and talk about the month as a whole and how I felt about it. And I haven't done the spread yet for this one, but what I want to do is do a monthly recap, but music edition. So once I get that up, I'll show you guys next time I do a flip. The second paper insert that I'm using is a Midori MD cream paper insert. Again, obsessed with this paper, but the only downfall of this insert is that it's completely blank. These stickers are from Megan Rhiannon, by the way. But in here I'm using my fountain pens, and this is where I do my Dear Diary journal entries, and I get to play with fun fountain pen inks. For the most part with my memory keeping and my bullet journaling, I go black ink only because I really like how things look consistent spread over spread. So in my journal, I allow myself to be a little bit more wild with color and use some of my more fun inks. Again, really love this paper because it's fountain pen friendly. And I'm using the underlay from Traveler's Company. There is a grid on the back of it, and I'll put that behind the page and sort of clip it in place, and I use that as my writing guide. I'm more or less double spaced, so it's like roughly 2.5 millimeter grid writing, but it's very rough, and because there's no lines, it looks really clean when the page is done. I am definitely looking forward to using a grid insert after this one. I have a craft insert which I might use to finish the year out, but I think I'm going to be moving to Good Impressions inserts after this. I've got 4mm grid ones. I haven't used any of them yet. I did get asked, but I have ordered them, so I plan on using them, I think, next. I'm looking forward to having a grid again. But this journal is a bit of a catch-all. It's Dear Diary spreads, morning pages where I'm brain dumping whatever is stuck in my brain. I'll write about dreams I have. I will vision journal where I'll write about goals as if I've achieved them. I use it as my sketchbook, and I watercolor in here as well. I'll collect ephemera bits and print out pictures. Lately, my favorite thing to do has been making these little mini sticker collages because I'm trying to work through the stickers that I have in my sticker book. Most of my deco, or like these little stickers, are from Daiso, which is a Japanese dollar store here in the US. I think, well, they have it in Japan too. I'm misspeaking. Essentially a Japanese dollar store. It's a little bit more expensive than that. And then also stickers from Soutelier, which I get those from JetPens typically. This I printed out a little bit too large to fit in my passport, but I thought I would just keep it. It's an image from Reddit. This is when the Starbucks stickers, the new Starbucks X Travelers Company stickers came out, and I just liked the image, so I tried to recreate it. Those same images that I printed out earlier. These are some of my really cool cloud doodles. I have digitized these, and they're going to be available in my shop, just so you know. Watercoloring, again, some quotes that I've seen that I liked that I wanted to keep. Sketch pages that I never inked over. This is probably my favorite collage I've done in this notebook. I got a new pair of jeans, so I kept that. And some pictures I found online that I wanted to collect. I have an art print coming of this one that I'm excited for. And yeah, so I'm about halfway through this insert. I have ripped some pages out because I repurposed this insert. I was originally going to use it for travel journaling, but just never ended up doing it. So I did tear out a couple of pages, but I'm about at the halfway point over the course of a month. So I don't think I'll get too many more months in this journal, maybe another 4 to 6 weeks, but the inserts I plan on moving to next are 120 page inserts with a 4mm grid, so I think those will last me a little bit longer. But one of the things that I really enjoy about being in a traveler's notebook is the appeal of completing things. Sometimes when I always go for like a full year dated planner, being in something for an entire year is very satisfying, but sometimes I just need those micro wins of finishing an insert and getting to archive it and put it away. So that's kind of fun to be doing this in my memory keeping and journaling space along with my bullet journal, where I'm used to setting up bullet journals multiple times throughout the year, or a new quarterly insert, for example, in my passport size bullet journal. One of the questions I got is how I got a hold of these Starbucks stickers. This is one of them. They came with the collab that I was telling about earlier this year, and I actually got them on eBay from a reseller for way too much money. So not how I'd recommend getting them, but if you are trash for Starbucks like I am, that is how I got them. I found them on eBay and paid crazy shipping, but I love them, so they're getting good use. Couple other accessories in here that I have is the clear zipper case from Travelers Company. I'm going to be doing a video, I think later this month, talking about my favorite accessories from Travelers Company, but I really like the clear zipper case. This isn't the card case one because they make 2 for the standard size, but I like the zipper case because I can use it for deco or just to store things throughout. And the backside has a full-size slip pocket on both sides, which is nice. So I use it for a little bit of sticker storage and then just some decoration as well. One thing to note about the clear zipper case is when it's closed, mine sticks out pretty bad. So if that's gonna bother you, just keep that in mind. But I actually quite like it because when I put my elastic on, it sort of just helps further protect the paper inserts because the elastic rests against that as well. This is the Starbucks Copper Sakura charm. I got this, I think, last year from Enoshuk Japan on Etsy. I don't know if he's still selling on Etsy, but I have seen him on Instagram, and I've had this one for a couple years, and it is finally starting to patina a bit. I asked over on Instagram if there were any questions that I could answer as I show how I use this notebook, and one of the questions I got asked a lot of is the Travelers Company leather cover worth the price? And this is kind of a hard question to answer because I haven't tried a lot of different branded covers. I've pretty much fell down the Travelers Company rabbit hole and stayed in that lane, but I know that there are a lot of other alternatives out there, and this can be a little bit on the pricey end. I think coming from really expensive ring planners like Gillio or VDS, to me this felt like a really good price point for what you're getting, but it is a very simple product when it's all said and done. It's a single piece of leather with an elastic and a bookmark, so nothing too fancy, and each cover is a little bit unique because it is a leather product. Sometimes I open a cover from Travelers Company and I know instantly that this is my cover. I love it, I'm never getting rid of it, and other times I open them and the texture and the color just isn't quite right, and when I can, I try to return those if possible or resell them if I know the bond just isn't there. Oftentimes, if a piece isn't quite how I like it, I'll condition it with a little bit of Renapur, which is a leather conditioner, and that solves a lot of the problems. Like my blue cover, for example, never really loved until I learned to condition it, and now I don't think I'll ever part with this passport cover. So whether or not they're worth the price, I think really depends on you and your budget, but one of the main appeals to me for Traveler's Notebook is seeing people who have had the same cover for years and years and years, and the character that it's developed along the way, and I can't wait to do that with some of my covers as well. When it comes to routines, I fill this out in the evening before bed for the most part, but to be honest, I've been reaching for it several times throughout the day. I think one thing I'm really coming to enjoy is having a non-dated insert for Dear Diary journaling entries, because I find that I just reach for this in the mornings if I need to clear my head, and I'll stamp the date out and just go, and then I'll come back later in the day and journal other thoughts and doodle things and pick out stickers and go from there. For the most part, I would say the majority of my journaling happens in the evening before bed, and I like putting pen to paper to get away from some screen time before I go to sleep, and really have been enjoying that routine. I'm liking the room that I get in the standard size, and somebody asked me if I would consider planning in here, and I have thought about it, but from like a reality is that I take my planner with me everywhere, and thinking about the traveling and the events coming up for 2024, I don't think I would bullet journal in this next year, but I could maybe see myself using it as a work planner. It's something that I'm kind of considering since we've ripped the band-aid off 2024, and I'm officially thinking about systems for next year as well. Right now though, I'm like just kind of pleased that I've been in my traveler's notebooks for 30 days now. This is like my official 30-day check-in, and I wasn't even trying. I think moving into this time around, I don't know what it was, if it was just having a cream paper journal or having the combo, but it's been pretty effortless to stick with the system this month, and I'm really looking forward to sharing more of it with you. But if you have any questions, again, leave them below. If you've made it this long, thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you soon.